area. It's the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. Undoubtedly you've seen it if you're in the Tillamook. Undoubtedly you've seen it if you're in the Tillamook area. It's the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, built in the middle of the ocean back in 1880 on its little rock island. It is a key part of local folklore. And many say the spirits of the dead still roam the grounds.
Yeah, our Jennifer Dowling takes you to the rock to investigate its storied history and the condition of the mysterious outpost.
At this viewpoint from Cannon Beach, Tillamook Rock and its legendary lighthouse are just a speck on the horizon.
I was thinking of the name Terrible Tilly.
Its secrets guarded by the treacherous seas surrounding its darkened doorways, battered walls, and rusty tower. Historian Elaine Truckee says some people swear they've seen a light shining from a ghostly lens.
I still have people come in and they'll say, "Oh, I saw people on the rock."
To start unlocking its secrets, photographer Adam Thompson and I geared up in special suits for a 2-hour, 25-mile trip with the Coast Guard.
Don't go there without being able to call for help.
Tillamook Rock sits about a mile off the Oregon coast. This is very isolated and hard to get to.
First impressions when I came close to it a few years ago was it was haunted.
I wouldn't want to be any closer than this.
Historians say the rock claimed its first victim in the late 1800s before construction began.
One of the first surveyors that was trying to build the lighthouse was washed off the rock, and they never found his body.
Still, construction continued, and crews weathered intense waves on the rock in pup tents until they finished the job. They tried and failed to prevent another tragedy when the ship the Lupatia sailed too close to the rock on a foggy night.
They set a big bonfire and they started yelling and screaming, and the entire crew was lost. The only survivor was a dog.
The lighthouse was finally complete in 1881, but Coast Guard members who staffed it, 4 at a time, had a tough commute. A wooden crane lifted people on and off the rock in what looked like a life ring with pants sewn into it.
It was very harrowing.
I wouldn't want to be stationed out here permanently, no.
The men passed the time reading, cooking, and playing jokes while weathering intense storms.
The waves would go over the top of the lighthouse.
The Coast Guard sold the lighthouse in '57 thanks to advancements in radar, but it didn't stop Terrible Tilly from claiming more lives.
Someone was washed off of a boat going around the lighthouse in '64. They never found the body.
In the 70s, a GE executive bought and repaired the lighthouse for use as a second home. Truckee says he only spent one night on the rock.
He sold it about 2 days later.
After that, Terrible Tilly's story takes an unusual turn. State records show that in 1979, a group of investors led by local real estate broker Mimi Morissette bought it for $50,000. Their plan, to build a cemetery called Eternity at Sea. People paid around $1,200 for a space to store their ashes in a columbarium. Around 30 were interred there, including Nora Eno Bailey.
This is a picture of her cabin at the beach.
Her daughter, Jerry Jeffs, didn't want to appear fully on camera.
So that's how much she loved the ocean.
She believes her mom's ashes are still contained in this box, pictured in an old Oregonian article.
There sits her brass container with her name on it.
At one point, Truckee says vandals got into the lighthouse and destroyed some of the urns, and there was a lawsuit. The Oregon Mortuary and Cemetery Board also investigated, ultimately denying the owner's attempt to renew an already expired operating certificate.
I don't want her sitting out there in that rotten place, to tell the truth.
Drone video given to us by Geist View shows missing doors, the interior dirty from seabirds and battered by storms. A number of complaints to Oregon's Department of Justice followed. People who arranged to be placed there after their death, and some family members were asking for refunds.
I wish she wasn't there, but I don't know what to do about it.
Getting Nola's ashes back would be difficult. The island is part of the Oregon Islands Refuge. Visiting is prohibited from March 15th through September 1st because of nesting birds. And Truckee says the sea lions can be aggressive.
So I think when they decided to make it a columbarium, it was a really good idea, and they had some forethought, but they didn't realize how difficult it would be to get construction people out there to do restoration and to maintain the building.
Local residents would like to see Tilly restored, but the sea appears to be winning the battle to reclaim the rock.
It's this mysterious, beautiful lighthouse, and it's just falling apart, and there's really not a lot that anybody can do.
Jennifer Dowling, Coin 6 News.
I knew a lot about the history. I did not know